Next stage is a robot that doesn't have legs, but does on the torso up, arms, vision system, hands, and sit with factory workers or the logistics workers to work side by side with the at the factories. And we call them a collaborative robot, or I believe ours is one of the most advanced of the cobot, collaborative robot, available right now. Japan is facing the aging society, and therefore the labor force is shrinking. And so many companies in Japan are having problem finding enough workers. Before, factories left Japan because of the labor rate is more expensive here, and factories moved to less labor expensive countries. But now, people are realizing that people of the world are craving for Japanese product, made in Japan product, and big companies, electronics, automotive, and such, want to keep their factories at home. Give you a very good example is this Glory company. It's truly amazing company. They just put, it was very automated, and I was made for mass such a production with people, but it was almost a flaw-free system that they made. And for that, they put our robots to less sophisticated area. I mean, many companies still, we get asked, they want super robot, get rid of everybody, and just the robots work in the factory. But this company, they want to empower the workers. Less sophisticated work, robots do. Those people that were there before, they get training and they go up the ladder with the sophisticated work, like QC and finalizing. So they get trained, and their work is less hectic, not boring, exciting, and they get paid more. And the lower paying and boring jobs done by robots. And what's amazing about this Glory factory in Saitama is, as far as I know, they did not fire any one person. So they upped the capacity with the current workforce, and they became more efficient. So they brought back the certain product they're manufacturing in China back to Japan, and they're doing it there. So that is a very, very, very good example of how our type of collaborative robots should be used.
Apart from higher efficiency, what kind of other advantages do you see for companies in Japan working with robots?
Okay. Like I said before, many manufacturing unfortunately left Japan already, and many will not be coming back. But the value-added products, not lately, more in lines of cosmetics, Japanese cosmetics that are very popular in especially Southeast Asia, China, places like that, and they want them to be made in Japan. So those products, companies are bringing the factories back to Japan, but they want to bring it back to Japan, but they cannot find enough people. So our robots are helping them with that. And also, certain technologies, companies do not want to take it overseas because they fear the technology is copied or stolen. So they want to keep it here. So that is very important for Japanese companies. And also, we are having problem with a very aging society, the demographics of the healthy society, I believe, is old people at the top, but more and more young people. But currently, Japan society looks like upside down triangle. When technology or society matures and advances, human skills decrease. So I think it's still very necessary to do basic thing, like manually calculate, manually add, subtract, divide. Because your technology is gone, you cannot do it. Or you should be able to read a map on your own. I mean, some of the younger people I know, they just put the destination in your Google map and you don't even think, you just follow instructions. So I think that's very, very dangerous. But at the same time, you have to use the technology. In Japanese factories and companies, everybody is asked to contribute to the companies and how to make it better. So if you put well, think about it. If you have to make a most efficient company, only one factory chief, he comes every morning, press the button, and off comes the products. And you think that's good, but you have to think about the consequence. Those machines don't come up with new ideas. You see? People come up with the new ideas. And many of the factories that employ our robots, so we install our robots, and it's fantastic. They're working. But several months later, we go back there. They've made modifications to make it more efficient or make it more safe. Put the if something goes wrong, it flashes. Those people do. You see, so you have to embrace the technology, but you have to always think what you can do better with the technology. Otherwise, just like I don't know how to start the fire without a match or a lighter. Human skill gets worse and worse. You think, oh, we have a lighter, so you don't have to think about it to start the fire. But all of a sudden, the liquid is gone. You can't even light the fire. You see, so I think that just too much reliance on the machines and technology, to me, is not good. And people always want human touch, or to use the technology to do what's next. That sort of thinking is important. I think you always have to think outside the box. That's a word. I mean, that's cliche, but I don't know. To be successful, of course, you have to be able to understand how everybody thinks and normal people think. But to be, I heard people that say, well, innovation's gone now. It's a disruption. The But it's a really fast-changing world, and people get into this argument about the exponential and the Moore's law, things like that. But it's not just that. And Hollywood kind of feeds it and makes it like a doomsday scenario. But I think there will be many, many good people that will make things easier and better for people. I'm also scared, of course, because I call my bank, and you have to press 1 for that, and if something goes wrong, it stops. I gotta get my money, you know. But if it's a human, you can negotiate. Sure, some if you stand still, just like those horse carriage companies, when the automotive society, you'll get eliminated. And you have to keep going. But even the other day, One of my I use a computer to book a hotel, and the night before I have to cancel it, it said no cancellation, money will be returned. But there was this customer number. I called. I talked to the lady, and she made it happen for me. If it was just a computer, I would have lost all that money. But because the lady said, okay, I'll take care of it. She took care of it. I'm more loyal to that company. That sort of thing. So you have to know how to use technology, but you have to also have the, humanness, I guess, human touch. In Japan, actually, people really strive for perfect society. I mean, you see the train comes on time, and you can drink the, well, I mean, Switzerland too, but you can drink your tap water, and then you go outside and there you don't see trash out. But those are made made by people's efforts. You have to use the technology to make your life better and safer, but we just can't just let them take over the. We cannot be the slave to technology. That's what I think.
What worries you about the future?
Well, I'm worried about the certain big companies dominating information. Things are getting easier. You just Google things to Google Map this, and you buy Amazon. You just things come next day, but they're taking your information. Maybe 10 years ago there was a movie called I don't remember the name of it, but someone walks in the store, and oh, Mr. So and So, scans the retina, and no, the last time you bought this, how about this one this time? And it's already happening, in the real life. And I buy something for hiking or something, and I bought it, and next day it's, oh, how about this? How about this? And just I mean, it's none of their business, but maybe their information is shared also, and I think that's scary. To me, it's supposed to be good for everybody, but also at the same time, your information is being stolen. So I'm a little bit torn about it, about the you put your, I don't have it, but some people have those watches that takes your heartbeat and many different bio data. You're giving it to someone because it goes into the cloud, and those companies are taking your information. So when they have enough data, what will it become? I'm 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 sure you cannot stop it. It's not possible to stop it. But I hope they will not be used for wrong things. If you tweet certain words, all of a sudden you get arrested, or your account is frozen. So it's yeah, like a Big Brother type of scenario. Yeah. So yeah, one is those Western society, big, huge companies dominating data. Maybe they become more powerful than governments. But then again, certain governments, they really control. They don't want their leaders to be criticized, and then nowadays, I mean, some people watch me talk about this, but is this a fake news or not? I mean, even some leaders say those words, and I read some articles. I talk with my wife. I say, oh, that's a fake news, but it's very difficult to tell that's real, what's fake. Certain things gets manipulated, they made it into a story, and that becomes a fact. You see. So how to use information, what I told you today, I don't know if all this right. I mean, those are my opinion. But if the AI is programmed to do certain propaganda, they'll just do that. And you've seen such things in the Hollywood movies. So you have to live with technology, but you still have to have humanity, love, empathy.